In many different environments of Africa, wild dogs don't rely on individual strength, but on organized movement to approach prey. They observe, adjust their position, and wait for the moment when the target becomes unstable. When a small change occurs, the entire pack accelerates simultaneously and forms an attack in seconds. What happens when just one small deviation is enough to completely change the outcome? In tropical and subtropical regions, crocodiles live in rivers, lakes, and swamps, where many animals congregate to drink. In Africa, Nile crocodiles appear along large rivers, where the food source is always stable. Most of the time, they lie still near the water's edge, observing their surroundings, maintaining a waiting position. The pack of wild dogs approached and began circling the grass. They maintained their distance, then shifted positions step by step to test the crocodile's reaction. As the distance narrowed, the pack accelerated and closed in from multiple directions, creating constant pressure that forced the crocodile to turn and find its way back to the water. This pressure caused the crocodile to constantly change direction and struggle to maintain stability. It tried to break through the encirclement, but the pack of wild dogs kept blocking its path. After a few seconds, the crocodile found an opening and slithered towards the water. The encounter ended when it returned to its familiar environment, demonstrating the advantage of adapting to the environment. On the vast grasslands, lions are muscular predators that excel in short bursts of attack. An adult can reach speeds of nearly 60 kilometers per hour over short distances, enough to take down large prey. When hunting, they prefer ambushes to long chases, and females often take on the role of approaching. When faced with this hunting tactic, the pack of wild dogs doesn't charge straight in, but maintains distance, circling and changing positions rhythmically. They observe the lion's reactions to find openings. As the lion turns in various directions, the pack of dogs closes in short bursts before withdrawing, maintaining consistent pressure. Faced with successive close-range attacks, the lion switches to defense and loses its initial attack rhythm. It tries to react with short lunges, but the dogs dodge in time and continue to press. After a short distance, the lion chooses to leave the area to reduce risk. This result shows that in open space, coordination and a consistent movement rhythm can diminish the effectiveness of individual attacks, even from a superior species. In open woodlands and semi-desert areas, hyenas live in well-organized groups. They travel long distances to find food, preferring open areas with ample opportunity to approach prey. When approaching or competing for food, each individual maintains a specific position, creating a stable structure in their movement. Based on this movement pattern, the pack of wild dogs doesn't approach directly but observes. One dog moves forward to attract attention, while the other circles around to block the hyena's path. When the hyena reacts, The pack of dogs quickly shifts positions and applies pressure from multiple directions. This shift forces the hyena to constantly turn, distracting its attention. It tries to maintain its position and react, but cannot maintain control when approached from multiple directions. After a while, the pack of dogs gradually reduces the distance, while the hyena retains its original position. When both have high endurance, the one that maintains a coordinated rhythm and changes positions appropriately will control the situation better in the long run, contributing to the balance between species in the same environment. In arid and semi-desert regions of Africa, such as Namibia and Botswana, Oryx are adapted to conditions with little water and high temperatures. They move across open terrain, observing from a distance and detecting danger early. When unusual signs are detected, Oryx retreat before being approached, maintaining a safe distance and a steady rhythm of movement in open environments. From an initial distance, the pack of wild dogs maintained a slow pace to avoid detection. When the Oryx accelerated its retreat, the entire pack simultaneously increased speed and pursued closely behind. They maintained close contact in short bursts, preventing the prey from stabilizing its course. Forced by this constant pace, the Oryx had to change direction and gradually slow down. It tried to maintain its running rhythm and find an escape route, but all its movements were followed. After a few seconds, the pack of dogs closed in and took control, ending the chase. This shows that initial advantages can be quickly eroded when the pursuit is maintained at a steady pace. Between dense forests and sparsely forested areas, leopards often choose high vantage points to observe their surroundings. They live solitary lives, move discreetly, and avoid direct confrontations with other species. When they detect danger, leopards usually leave their location early and move to another area, maintaining distance and preserving their advantage in the complex environment. From their elevated position, the pack of wild dogs sensed movement and began tracking from the ground. They moved slowly, maintaining a wide formation to control the direction of travel. When the leopard left the branch and touched the ground, the pack accelerated and closed in from multiple directions, forcing it to react constantly. Closed on the ground, the leopard had to constantly turn and began to slow its pace. It sped towards a wooded area to find an escape route, but the pack of wild dogs remained in pursuit. After a few seconds, the leopard reached a favorable terrain and broke away from the chase, demonstrating how terrain determines the ability to maintain distance. In the vast grasslands, wild buffalo are not predators, but possess very strong defensive instincts. They prioritize protecting their young and react quickly when they detect danger. When threatened, adult buffalo turn to face the threat instead of running away, maintaining their stance to protect the herd and continuing this pattern of reaction. As soon as an opening appeared, the pack of wild dogs spotted a buffalo that had separated from the group and began observing from a distance. They circled around, adjusting their positions to observe its reaction. When the buffalo turned defensively, the entire pack accelerated and closed in short bursts, forcing the buffalo to react in multiple directions simultaneously. Having to turn in multiple directions gradually destabilized the buffalo. It tried to counterattack to break free, but the pack of dogs followed closely, maintaining their pace. After a few seconds, the dogs gained a favorable position and controlled the situation, demonstrating that when cornered in open space, defensive capabilities diminish. In the grasslands of East and South Africa, such as the Serengeti, impalas often stand on the boundary between the grass and the bush. They forage and observe, always ready to leave when they detect danger. When threatened, the entire pack disperses within seconds, completely altering their movement pattern. Noticing a change in the prey's movements, the pack of wild dogs began to corner the impala, relentlessly approaching from multiple directions, forcing it to dive into the water to escape. Instead of attacking immediately, they stalked along the banks, observing the prey's swimming direction in the middle of the stream. Waiting for the moment the impala slowed down and lost its rhythm. The entire pack accelerated, swarming from both sides, cornering and gradually narrowing the space in the water, leaving the prey with no escape route. After a few seconds, the pack of wild dogs gained control of the area, ending the chase. This demonstrates that dispersion only provides a temporary advantage when the predator remains close. On the edges of forests and rocky terrain in Africa, baboons are well adapted to a variety of conditions. They are agile climbers, use their limbs efficiently, and observe their surroundings to detect danger. When threatened, adults can stand still to create an opening before retreating, maintaining their agility. When the monkey leaves its safe position and descends to a lower area, the pack of wild dogs maintains a wide formation and approaches cautiously. They move in circles, adjusting their positions to observe the monkey's reaction. When the distance is close enough, the entire pack accelerates and closes in from multiple directions, forcing the monkey to constantly turn. The constant movement diminishes the monkey's ability to control its position. It heads towards areas with trees or rocks to escape, but the pack of dogs remains in pursuit. After a short distance, the pack of dogs takes a favorable position and forces the monkey out of the area, ending with the collective advantage. Unlike many predators that rely on brute strength, Wild dogs maintain their advantage by consistently coordinating their movements throughout the approach. They observe, wait, and exploit subtle changes in their prey's behavior to strike at the right moment. In their natural environment, the outcome doesn't come from a single moment, but from the ability to control the sequence of events. When the rhythm of movement is controlled, the outcome is also gradually determined. In nature, every approach can turn into an attack in a very short moment. A lion might proactively approach and initiate an attack, but the situation immediately reverses when distance, location, or environment changes. From the open grassland to the calm water's edge, each point of contact can trigger a direct and decisive response. And it is in those moments of attack and reaction that instinct and choice determine the final outcome. Amidst the slow but steady movement of the herd, elephants instinctively protect their young with both position and physical strength. The mother always maintains a very close distance, lowering her head when sensing danger and ready to block the path ahead. Her large size and powerful thrust allow her to control the space in front of her without retreating. This stability makes any approach risky from the start. On the outer perimeter, lions begin to stalk and form a circle to try to separate the young from the mother. They don't choose to confront the mother directly, but move around, waiting for a gap to appear. But each time the distance narrows, the mother steps forward, lowers her head, and blocks the path straight ahead. The lions approach and then slow down, as there is no safe angle to get close. When the distance is not broken, the lions cannot maintain the pace of approaching as planned. There was no clear point of separation, nor a sufficiently opportune moment to press further. The elephant held firm, while the lion gradually abandoned its attempt to advance. The approach ended with the formation intact, and the calf not isolated. The difference lay in one side preventing the formation from being broken. One side attempted to create a separation, while the other did not retreat and did not leave any gaps. When the mother-calf bond remains unbroken, the entire encirclement tactic becomes ineffective. In nature, maintaining the right position at the right time can determine the entire outcome. In the open expanse of the grassland, wildebeest move in groups and maintain close coordination. When cornered, they don't just run. They can maintain their posture and face each other for a short time. Their curved horns help control distance. The rhythm of movement is maintained while waiting for the opportune moment. While the herd continues to move, two lions choose a steady approach and keep their target under control. They slow the prey's pace, but don't finish it off immediately. The brief pause changes the rhythm of the situation. The wildebeest stops, turns, and faces directly. When the distance is close enough, the The horns sweep against the leg of one lion. The approach is interrupted, and both lions must separate from the target. The wildebeest maintains its posture for another beat before moving away from the danger. The distance is reopened, and the direction of movement is restored. Immediately after the initial reaction, the situation no longer maintains its original course. The delay in approach opens the door for a counter-reaction. When the prey turns around at the right moment, the approach is interrupted and cannot continue as before. In nature, controlling the pace of movement determines the ability to maintain an advantage. In open ground, the scimitar-horned antelope maintains a very steady reaction when sensing danger nearby. It doesn't turn its back too quickly, always keeping its head facing its opponent. Its long horns are positioned in front to control distance and prevent close approaches. This calmness makes approaching difficult from the start. From the outside, the lion begins to stalk, then suddenly accelerates to close the distance. It constantly changes direction, aiming for a safe entry point, but the scimitar-horned antelope always turns its face accordingly and keeps its horns pointed in the correct direction. Each attempt to get close is blocked before it can gain an advantage. There is no safe enough space for the lion to continue pressing. When the acceleration doesn't produce a change in direction, the lion is forced to stop and retreat. The scimitar-horned antelope maintains its posture, preventing the distance from being broken. The approach ended when the lion was unable to find a clear path forward. The scimitar-horned antelope maintained the upper hand, forcing the lion to retreat. Beneath the calm surface of the water, the crocodile maintains its ambush hunting instinct with great patience and an extremely quick reaction at close range. It doesn't need to move much, just stay low and wait for the right moment to spring up. In this environment, the advantage doesn't come from long-distance speed, but from precision in the first moment. The silence of the water makes the danger zone difficult to recognize. At the water's edge, the lion lowers its head to drink, significantly reducing its ability to observe its surroundings. It moves closer to the danger zone without noticing any clear signs. The moment the distance is close enough, the crocodile springs straight up from underwater, creating a sudden, almost vertical impact. The stillness is instantly broken, and the lion loses its advantage from the very first second. After the initial reaction, the lion recoils and tries to maintain its balance to avoid being pulled deeper into the water. It lacked clear openings to counterattack and quickly realized the current environment was no longer suitable for confrontation. The crocodile didn't need a long chase to maintain its advantage from a very short distance. The confrontation ended when the lion withdrew from the water's edge for safety. In this section, the deciding factor wasn't reputation or strength on land. One side simply waited for the right moment, while the other lost its advantage the moment it entered a disadvantageous environment. When the space changes, the entire response changes as well. In nature, the environment often determines the outcome even before the actual confrontation begins. In the moving formation of the herd, buffalo maintain close spacing and constantly monitor their surroundings. Those on the outer perimeter are ready to turn at the first sign of change. Their strong horns help maintain distance and protect the center. A state of alertness is maintained even when the grassland surface is calm. At the edge of the herd, a young lion shifts its attention to a small target and slows its observation pace. It lowers its body, approaches, and maintains its approach. Meanwhile, from the sidelines, a buffalo changes direction and accelerates directly. The distance is rapidly reduced, leaving no time for adjustment. Contact occurs before the young lion can stabilize its posture. It is pushed back from its position and loses its approach rhythm. The buffalo maintains its distance, preventing any gaps from opening. The young lion leaves the area when it can no longer close in. The sequence of events shifts from stable to intermittent in a very short time. Reduced attention allows for a direct response to emerge. When distance changes abruptly, the approach is no longer maintained. In nature, maintaining continuous observation determines the ability to retain an advantage. Besides a newly discovered resource, the rhinoceros displayed a very direct and stable survival response. It didn't retreat, but actively maintained its position and constantly turned its head toward any nearby movement. Each advance was aimed at protecting its distance and control of the area. This proactive approach made any approach difficult to sustain. On the outside, the lion didn't leave but circled around, cautiously waiting for a small opening. It kept its distance, tried changing direction, and gradually approached, but each time the rhinoceros charged straight ahead and pushed it back immediately. The lion dodged and retreated, then approached again. The cycle of pressure, retreat, and return continued without a breakthrough. After many attempts to approach, the lion still couldn't find a safe enough opening to sustain its attack. The rhinoceros doesn't need a direct hit to maintain control through consistent reactions. The distance in front of it is always maintained, while the lion gradually accepts staying out of the danger zone. The confrontation ends when the rhinoceros holds its position and the lion gives up on venturing further. When both sides maintain a consistent reaction rhythm, the confrontation begins to stop at a safe limit. One side steadfastly holds its position, the other remains but cannot afford to take risks. When no mistakes occur, the confrontation becomes simply a test of endurance and risk tolerance. In nature, sometimes keeping the opponent out of reach is the clearest way to win. In the rapid and continuous movement of the pack, African wild dogs maintain very close coordination between each position. Each individual maintains an appropriate distance and adjusts to the common signal without becoming isolated. When pressure arises, the reaction occurs almost simultaneously in multiple directions. This synchronization helps the entire pack maintain a stable structure in all situations. A lioness approaches and begins to pressure the formation. The pack of wild dogs does not retreat, but slightly separates the formation to both maintain distance and surround from multiple sides. When the lioness accelerates and controls a target, the pack's reaction rhythm immediately changes. The directions of movement simultaneously reverse, forcing the lioness to constantly turn and lose focus. Under pressure from multiple sides, the lioness cannot maintain its initial control. It is forced to switch to a defensive state and gradually reduce its approach rate. The pack of wild dogs maintained their distance and prevented their formation from breaking. The confrontation ended when the lion released its target and left the pressure zone. In this section, the decisive factor lies in maintaining coordination throughout the process. A short-term advantage is insufficient when the surrounding space is controlled in reverse. When multiple pressure points appear simultaneously, a single attack becomes ineffective. In nature, collective control of space can completely alter the outcome. Not every confrontation ends with a clear-cut victory. Often the outcome is decided by small things like distance, timing, and timely reactions. A lion may have the initial advantage, but it cannot always maintain it. In nature, persistence and choosing the right moment are key to retaining the advantage.